Hello everybody, AlzaboHD here, and welcome back to the Making Greece Great Again Iron Man Greece Hearts of Iron 4 Let's Play series. In the last episode, not too much has happened, although we were able to overthrow our democratically elected authoritarian regime and replace it with a more suitable fascist, sort of Axis-leaning regime. Now, in this particular episode, I've got a great one for you guys. In fact, we are about to declare war on Bulgaria. We are about 2 weeks shy of our invasion into our northeastern neighbor. But the thing is that before we declare war, we need to go ahead and drop some plans. Now, I'm at a bit of a disadvantage here because not all of our men have the equipment that they need, and we certainly don't have our war goals and war, offensive plans up and running yet, so our men will not get the full, preparation bonus that they should have gotten. But the thing is that right now, we are going to go ahead and drop the offensive line and take Sofia here in the next few weeks. Now, before we do so, I'm going to be strategically drawing this offensive line along the river over here, outside of Plovdiv. Of course, I don't know the actual name of this particular river, but we're going to set up our lines just right here, as it is quite a bit easier to defend across rivers, and we don't really want to overextend too much. In fact, once we take Sofia, the capital of Bulgaria, they should capitulate, that is to say, they should surrender relatively quickly, and thus giving us all of this wonderful clay to ourselves. Now, the thing is that once again, not all of our equipment has arrived, which is a bit of a problem. But the bigger problem is that our organization is incredibly low because we currently have our men training. So we're going to go ahead and stop that right away, while also taking into account how many regiments the Bulgarians have. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Looks like they have 8 already up and running, which means that we have approximately twice the amount of men that they do. Of course, this is discounting the fact that our men, have less equipment up and running than they do. A few different factors such as this. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and stop trading them, just like so. And we have to declare war by August the 6th. So let's go and see how fast our organization will go pop up. And we're going to go ahead and unpause once again. So I'm going to go ahead and take it a little bit slower this time, just because we don't have that much wiggle room anymore. And this way we can kind of see the day-night cycles and all that great stuff. So again, these is our offensive line, and these are our men. It looks like we are not able to, let's see. I'm not exactly sure if when you are not training them, if they receive the equipment that they need. I think that they might, but again, I'm not entirely sure. So we've just researched something in industry, which is fantastic. Let's go ahead and research concentrated industry 2, which will increase our factory output, which is something that is incredibly useful later on, as I mentioned in the previous episode. Now, something of note is after we take Bulgaria, our sights will be set on either Yugoslavia or Turkey. Now, I'm not exactly sure who we should attack first. If you guys want, you could leave it in the comment box below who you guys think is better. But the thing is that Turkey has approximately 2 or 3 times the army size of our current kind of weak Greek army, including, I believe, some forms of maybe even tanks. But the thing is, we could join the Axis at any time, and we could get, help from Germany and maybe even Italy if we're lucky. So I'm not too worried or concerned about that. Selecting our units now, it looks like our organization is almost up and running, which is fantastic. Again, the only problem is that not all of these units have everything that they need. As you guys can see, we're not going to be able to get all of this equipment in time for our war with Bulgaria, but it's okay. We have supply lines even close to our borders, even when we're in Bulgaria proper. When we're in a foreign country, we will still have supply lines, which is going to make this a bit easier. But as you can see, we still need some 1,000 guns left over, including some artillery pieces as well. But again, that's not going to come in time for our war, but that's okay. Let's go and check our preparation bonus that we have here. I'm sorry, I just edited that out. That's the reason why it's silent, is because I just sneezed, and yeah, I always edit those types of things out of my videos in the final cut. So here we go. It's August the 5th. If we do not declare war on August the 5th, well, we're going to be out of luck. So we need to declare war now. But the problem is, again, is that our fighting strength is not up to par, which means that this might be closer than I would like. But that's okay. I mean, I'm assuming we're going to win this. and I'm not too worried about that. Let's go see what our plan strength is here. Plan preparation bonus of 26%. So it's not the best in the world, but it's not too bad. So we're going to wait until it's daytime before we launch our attack. Yeah, it's 8 o'clock in the morning. Here we go. Time to declare war on Bulgaria. Let's make sure they're not allied with anybody. They are not. Here we go. It's declaring war on them. Our war goal is to conquer Sofia. We don't have any allies. It's okay. Here we go. We have declared war. The National Union of Greece has declared war on Bulgaria. Let's go ahead and get this started, right? So we are at war with Bulgaria. We don't really know how many divisions they have, but I think this will be a relatively easy win for us. At least I hope so. Anyways, so here we go. We can go ahead and select our troops here and go ahead and give them the go-ahead. Actually, instead of giving the go-ahead, maybe I should just have them wait. Because we're already at war, we might as well wait for these men to get reinforced with the equipment. Maybe even, set up that plan bonus and everything. So yeah, let's go ahead and wait just a little bit. Of course, we'll win anything that they decide to attack. We are entrenched a little bit, so it's okay. Send volunteers to the German Reich. Ooh, that could be really nice. We'll accept it. Why not? You know, the Germans, they want to send in some volunteers. That's totally fine. They'll get here on August the 20th. Let's hope that that is an armored unit. That could certainly be a little bit easier, a little bit better for us here. While we wait for that plan bonus to go ahead and go through. We are, of course, entrenched, which means that we get a defensive bonus, fighting on our own territory. And do not worry, we will eventually be sending our men into an offensive here, but we are just waiting to see what the Bulgarians have to offer in terms of their divisions here. So here we go. We are currently at a 36% plan preparation bonus. Again, the higher that is, the better. Once it gets to 50%, I think we'll go ahead and make our move. And most of our guns are arriving, which is fantastic. Again, I'm not sure if these get to our men that are not training, but I think they might. Let's go and hover over this unit over here. They're waiting for 900 infantry equipment. Let's see if this goes down here in a minute. Let's see. I don't see it going down at all. Which means that I might have to train these units before they get their equipment, which is a bit of a shame. But it is what it is. It's okay. Not a huge deal here. So again, we're winning the current battles that we're in. Volunteers are in transfer. Once we get those German volunteers, we'll go ahead and push the front line a little bit. Of course, our declaration of war has increased the world tension, which is not a big deal. So here we go. Where are the Germans? Where is the Germans? Well, that doesn't really work out too well. So here we go. They've arrived in Thessaly, which is somewhere over here, I think. Ah, down here. It is 1 unit of mountaineers, and again, we do not control volunteer forces, so let's hope that they get over here to the front line relatively quickly and help us out. So here we go. Let's click on our army, who, yeah, they're doing relatively well here. So, again, we have a plan preparation bonus of 50%. Let's go ahead and send them in and see if we can't take Bulgaria, even with our undernourished, underfed, underprepared forces here. So let's see if this works out. So we've gone ahead and set up the plan. We're winning every single battle along the frontier. Let's hope that those Germans arrive in time. They are. They're heading over here. Again, we outnumber the Bulgarians by quite a bit, and just look at this. We're cutting through their country like Swiss cheese. This is absolutely incredible. I mean, this is, in a period of 1 day, we've gone ahead and already taken 2 or 3 provinces with, I have the impression that we're going to take quite a bit more here. Again, the primary war goal is taking Sofia. Once we take Sofia, the capital of Bulgaria, they should capitulate. Again, checking to see what their national unity is. If there's any, 70%, it's relatively low in comparison to ours. It means that their, I guess, war participation, war readiness is not as high as ours, which is a very, very good thing. So here we go. Again, we are not a member of the Axis just yet, because we don't want Germany to have any say in this peace deal, although they've sent volunteers quite nicely on their own, which is fantastic for us. Just production. Once this war is over, we'll be able to get all of our men armed and ready. And do we have any airplanes at all? We don't. Okay, so we're going to be working on airplanes here in a minute. I think maybe Bulgaria has some airplanes. Maybe they're not, actually. So I don't think either side has airplanes, even though I hear, and I see airplanes as well. I'm confused as to which plane this is. Whatever, doesn't really matter. Again, this should be a pretty relatively easy victory for us here, especially now that Germany has got our side here. Free military factories, great. Let's go ahead and have them producing something new. Such as, do we have any fighters up yet? Not quite yet. So, we have free military factories. What should we produce? Probably infantry equipment. This is something that will not change throughout the game. We're always going to need infantry equipment for our troops. Let's go ahead and set it up like that. That's fine. And guns are the most important, I guess, backbone of a modern military, so that's totally fine and totally acceptable. So then we push back the Bulgarians onto the river over here, which means that we should have no problem whatsoever taking Bulgaria. At least that's the plan. Expectations versus reality, sometimes these things never match up. We also have another free military factory, something I did not expect. Let's go ahead and put another one on the towed artillery. Of course, this will give us a malice. Insufficient, I believe, steel. Yeah, steel. So we're going to go ahead and go to our friends in Germany and request a little bit more steel for our war effort here. I don't see why they would refuse. We even have another free... How many free factories do we have? Oh, so we must have conquered these factories for the Bulgarians. That's probably what it is. So let's go ahead and set up some more with our artilleries. And some more infantry equipment as well. So this will definitely reinforce our men in time. This is great because the more factories we take, the more provinces we take from Bulgaria, the weaker they will get, and the stronger we will get. So that is a win-win situation if there ever was one. Now that being said, troops are going to be up very, very soon. More infantry units, which is fantastic. And we are defending over here. Now this unit over here, okay, he's defending this. Okay, I was going to say we should probably go ahead and rearrange these units kind of manually, but it's okay for the moment. Again, we have that 50% war preparation bonus, which is fantastic. It's going very, very well for us. We're going to win this battle in 2 days. Let's go check it out really fast. Although, yeah, okay, so there we go. We've taken the province. And we're marching on our way to Sofia, the capital of Bulgaria. Well, this war didn't last very long. I believe we started in August. It's already September. It should be done by October, I believe. It's like a 2-month war. Very, very victorious, our men here. Let's go ahead and pause really fast. We can modify our government. Let's go and see what we want to do over here. Now, I'm not too aware of what export focus does, but I think I want to trade it to something else. Construction speeds, research times. No resources will be exported. You know, I have no idea what this is, so I'm not going to really mess around with it. Again, if you guys know what this thing does, let me know in the comments below. I don't really know exactly what resources to market means. I mean, does this give us more trade goods for trading our civilian factories? Or does it do something else? I don't really know. I'm not going to screw around with it for the time being. But instead, I will do something else. Maybe, yeah, War Industrials is quite good. It'll give us increased speed on our factories. Our military factories, I should say, which is fantastic. So far, so good. Let's go ahead and play it out. And we're about to take Sofia. Here we go. This should end the war. Hopefully. And did that end the war? No, it didn't. Surprisingly, it did not end the war. We have some military factories from the capital. We're going to go ahead and sign them over here. So research more guns. And there we go. We finally taken it. We're going to conquer all states if we can. Done. And in turn. Done. So it turns out that when you justify a war score or a war claim, you don't actually have to select all the provinces you want to take. Again, I only justified for Sofia, and I was able to take all of these other provinces, so it worked out pretty well. And now we also have some available planes of reserve, which is fantastic. I'm going to go ahead and select them over here. We're going to create an air wing with our interwar fighters. Now, this is something that's, you know, we should have done a while ago once we got, you know, fighters and all that. But again, this is not really necessary for now. We're going to modernize our air force here in a minute. So for the time being, it's relatively, you know, ancient, but we'll get on that in a minute. So over here, we have to decide where our next victim is going to lie. Now, we could attack Yugoslavia. The reason I say this is that this will kind of bring us closer to Italy and Germany. But we could also opt to go ahead and take Istanbul, but this will be a little bit more costly in terms of manpower, and all of those sorts of things. But we do have a better navy, I believe, than the Turks, at least at the game start. So if we're able to take Istanbul with the help of our allies, I think we might be able to win the war. Now, that being said, yeah, volunteer, yeah, returning to Germany, that's fine. Let's go ahead and select all of our units that are here. And we're actually going to go ahead and deploy these guys over here instantly. Let's go ahead and select them all. Again, select them into this regiment over here. And we're going to go ahead and set them up on the border with Turkey. Again, this could change later on. I'm not exactly sure if we're going to stay on the border with Turkey, but for the time being, we are. And we have to wait for all of these production lines to go down. It seems like it should be pretty easy since we have a lot more military factories now, so no worries there. And pretty soon, once the light tanks are researched, we'll work on sending some more tanks to the front lines. That's a very good thing as well. And also, of course, modernizing our air force. So here we go. Our units are now moving along. We've gotten all of the factories that belong to Bulgaria, which is incredibly useful. Whilst also building a civilian factory, so that's always cool as well. So let's go ahead and set up some more military factories for after our current production line is finished over here in Thrace. Fantastic. So now we have a few options. We could go ahead and opt to join the Axis. At some point we should, but I'm not sure if now is a good time or not. I say this because Italy is not yet in the Axis. I think it should remain neutral for the time being. Of course, we are fascist, so neutrality is, you know, really only in words, but we'll figure this out later. With that being said, we just finished Infrastructure Effort 2. We can opt to get some more factories, or we can immediately work on an extra research slot. Again, I'm going to opt for that extra research slot to get us a little bit ahead of our neighbors in terms of technology, so that's always a good thing. Let's go ahead and unpause. Excuse me. Ah, man. I'm so sorry you guys have to hear that. I'm incredibly allergic to something. Again, it's summer allergies and all that. So I apologize so much. I'm going to try my best to edit those out of the final cut of my videos. But again, sometimes they slip through. So yeah, I apologize for that. So here we go. Our troops are on the border with Turkey. Are more specifically on the border with Istanbul. Kind of like European Turkey, I should say. So this is a very good thing. They are slowly but surely getting up to size, I guess, with the artillery and the infantry equipment, which is a very, very good thing. Pretty soon we will be working on producing tanks. I know that you guys probably want to see that. I'm going to work on tanks as soon as we get to LP2, which will be pretty soon. Let's go ahead and speed ahead here. Soviet withdrawal, cool. Nothing too special there. And now we have a lot of political power that we could probably spend by perhaps even organizing a coup somewhere, right? But where should we do that? Our prime enemies in the future are probably going to be the United Kingdom, France, and the Soviet Union, assuming that things go down historically. Now, I could opt to increase fascism support in the Soviet Union and orchestrate a civil war there. But the problem is that they have some sort of, I guess, national focus or something that gives them, I guess, a a malice to increase the ideologies of something else. So why don't we go over to United Kingdom? If we made a fascist United Kingdom, that might be pretty useful, especially considering that the United Kingdom controls, like, 25% of the map. If we include the British Raj, their African holdings, and even some of their American and Pacific holdings like Australia and Canada. So why don't we go ahead and do that? That could be incredibly useful if we take United Kingdom out of the Allies. So yeah, let's go ahead and boost party popularity of the fascist group. This will, of course, cost us 0.25 political power per day, but it's a bit funny, right? Us as a second world country, basically broadcasting, the positives of fascism in United Kingdom, right? That would be pretty funny. Of course, we could focus on the United States, but it's not sure that the United States will join on the Allied side quite yet. And also, they also have a some sort of thing that makes it more difficult to switch their ideology just like the Soviet Union. So we're going to focus on that later. But for the time being, we are broadcasting propaganda and the United Kingdom all about the fascists, right? All about the fascism. Where is that exactly? British Union of Fascists. So the popularity is going up slowly, but it'll get there eventually. Our artillery is just finished. So let's go ahead and focus on getting some planes, because this is going to be something very, very important in the war to come with Turkey. Right, because Turkey has more planes than we do. We need to make sure that they are not at too much of an advantage before our allied members get into the war with us. Speaking of Turkey, let's go ahead and see what they're doing over here. Liberty ethos. Okay, so we don't want them to join the Allies. That would be an absolute disaster for us. And they only have an national unity of 55%. So let's go ahead and justify a war goal on them. It's going to take 100 days. Wow. Wow. That's basically nothing. So we're going to actually wait a little bit. I know this might be a little bit of gambit, but I don't want to take the, the justify war claim just right now, because that means we'll have to declare war pretty much immediately after we have our casus belli. So we're going to have to wait on that, if that's okay. For the time being, again, our men are training and getting their gear at the front line. Looks like most of them are combat ready, which is fantastic. So far, so good. Now what we're going to do, in addition to what we have already, is we're going to go ahead and start spitting out some more infantry, of course. This is something that you should have expected already, right? And set them up on the front line with Turkey. Probably over here, right? Doesn't really matter where they are. Right, so with that being said, we're going to go ahead and modify most of our brigades here by setting them up with some more support artillery. Just like so. And even this, kind of like early mechanized unit. It's not really quite mechanized yet because I haven't researched it yet, but it's, with horses and stuff. We don't really want to see horses in combat, but, it's better than nothing, I suppose. So here we go. We've set up artillery on most of our regiments, which means that we have to wait for the production of a little bit more, but that's okay. It's all in good time. Excuse me. So again, we are training them, or at least we were not training them, but now we are. Actually, instead of training all of them, let's go ahead and just train the ones that need to be trained. These guys down here. These other guys are okay for the time being. Just like so. So far, so good, right? I mean, we've taken Bulgaria. We are on the war path with Turkey. In fact, why don't we go ahead and... let's see. We're going to get fighters in 140 days. So we're going to have a little bit of a problem with Turkey, since they're going to have air superiority with us, but that's okay. Immediately working on LP2. Once we get LP2s up and running, we'll start producing them and set up some armored regiments as well. I think so. Let's look at our constructions menu. We're still working on some civilian factories. That's totally fine. Again, we need as many factories as possible. And also, we're about to get that extra research slot, which is really going to help us out. Why don't we go ahead and justify that war claim before, Turkey has the idea of joining the Allies. Of course, they are not currently a democratic country, but they're working on it. So let's go ahead and justify that war claim. Just like so. It's going to take 100 days. That's okay. We're going to take back what belongs to us. Free civilian factories. How is that even a possibility? Let's go ahead and make some more military factories then. This time in Thessaly. Right? So now they have something to do, no worries. Speaking of something to do, let's go ahead and check our men here. Looks like almost everybody is getting their equipment in an orderly fashion. We have an extra research slot now, which means that we can research something new. Why don't we go ahead and research? Let's see. We should probably either research mechanized or grab some new guns. Or motorized, I should say. Maybe engineering over here. Let's see. Let's go to research improved machine tools. This is also very, very useful, and we have not gotten it yet, so we're going to go ahead and take that. We'll eventually get there. No national focus set. Well, we need to change that, don't we? I want to grab extra research slot 2, but we need more than 50 factories. We'll get there in a minute. Why don't we go ahead and work on 2 more free civilian factories for us by taking this construction effort to focus. Again, remembering the more civilian factories we have, the better. Uncertain time. So yeah, we have a 36% world tension, which is pretty bad. We don't want this to get too high. Otherwise, World War II might happen a little bit early, which is not very good. Christmas comes early, it's a great thing. World War II comes early, well, we're not exactly prepared for it. We've already filled our production capacity with guns. That's fantastic. Speaking of which, we could probably go ahead and recruit even more infantry for our front lines. I would hesitate to call them cannon fodder, but that's basically what these guys are. So we're going to assign them to Marcos Drakos and set them up with a front line over here in this region right there. So yeah, and then we're going to also have them train as well. Oh, it looks like we have every... It doesn't look like you can... Wow, that's weird. So you can't train individual regiments in an army. So if I wanted to just train these units, I'd have to set them up with something else, but that's okay. They're going to suffer a little bit of attrition, but again, it's not really that big of a deal. Let's go ahead and see. So we still have some green units, but that's okay. Again, setting out our towed artillery for our other regiments that do not have them yet. Totally fine thing here. We're going to have a lot of infantry, that's the thing, you know. That's it could be a problem if Turkey has armored units, but I don't think they do. In fact, why don't we go ahead and get our fleet back into the home port, where we can hopefully go about merging our units here together. Yeah, so here we go. Let's merge them together just like so, and have them continue to patrol the Eastern Mediterranean. So our navy is a pretty big size, right? It's not too small anymore, which is a good thing. Free civilian factories. Yeah, so what should we make here? I would probably just make military factories for now. I mean, that's, you know, I should just fill my country with military factories for the time being. Of course, eventually we're going to run out of spaces to build military factories, and then we'll have to work on infrastructure, but we'll get there in a minute. So we just finished, I believe, construction 2. That's totally great. Let's go back over here to air, or maybe even land doctrine. We haven't done land doctrine yet, but I'm hesitating to do that yet because we haven't taken the focus for it. So let's go ahead and go for improved infantry equipment 1. This will give us just a little bit more soft attack. Oh, let's go with support weapons, actually. It's a bit more of a better, more safer bet for us. So in terms of how fast we will be at war with them, the March... So wow, really soon, actually. We're going to modify our government once again. This time, let's add an industrial concern. It's actually weird because I thought I already had an industrial concern, but apparently I didn't. Right? So, either that or I could do a tank designer, armored company. Yeah, let's go for that. And go ahead and spit out some more kind of green troops for us over here for our own uses. Set them up over here. And set them up on a line, front line, right, over here. Just like so. Excuse me. And now that's taken care of, we actually are pretty much at full strength. Let's go ahead and set up that offensive line over here just until Istanbul. I don't want to go too crazy, right? So these units are going to take Istanbul. Fantastic. We're going to get them to plan that out just a little bit for us. And I just want to train them until they're no longer green. Again, if they are green, that's a bit bad for us. No national focus set. So, we can do a lot of different things here now. I think what I would like to do is focus on the army effort. This way we can get a land doctrine up and running. So we need to start working on those. Free military factories. Fantastic. Let's go ahead and set it up on, again, let's see. We haven't gotten any fighters just yet, but pretty soon we will. And we haven't got the tank that we want out either, so let's wait on that. Let's go ahead and focus on some more artillery. Again, that should be quite useful. And we are missing some more steel once again. Seems like we are going to be constantly running out of steel until we take Istanbul, because Istanbul actually, let's go ahead and go over to the strategic resource map mode, has 20 units of steel. So once we conquer this area, our country should be much better off, right? Well, that's the ideal. Let's hope that that happens. So producing quite a bit of units of artillery and, of course, infantry equipment to boot. Now, remember earlier on in this episode, we were increasing the fascist popularity in Great Britain. Let's go and check to see how good we are off for that. Popularity 10%, so that's not too bad. Fascism is ever slowly increasing its popularity in the United Kingdom, and that's a very, very good thing. We'll get there in a minute. Low manpower. Okay, so we should probably go ahead and stop training our units, especially if they're no longer green. Well, we'll stop here in a minute. Because again, we're losing, I believe, manpower as we train our units. So when does this expire? It doesn't expire because it's a core territory. Very, very cool. Let's go ahead and wait until these guys are done. Let's go ahead and join the Axis, in fact. Yes, they will. Of course, they will accept. Now, the thing is that Italy is not currently in the Axis, I believe. So, should probably wait on that just a little bit. Excuse me. And some free military factories. Wow, we've got a lot of military factories now that we're focusing on it. I guess, as always, we should focus on more infantry equipment. Again, I'm just waiting for those tanks and planes to be up and running so we can go ahead and spit some out. But right now, I'm hesitating to go war with Turkey. I mean, we do have more men on the front line. But the problem is that Turkey has a lot more regiments than we do, which is, yeah, a serious problem. So here we go, my alarm has just gone off for this current episode. We're going to go ahead and stop the training of these men. We've joined the Axis. All of our units are up and running, but we have low manpower. We have a few options here. I mean, we could go ahead and opt to just blitzkrieg our way into Turkey. They only have 15 units here on our border. We have 23 units, including artillery. Although we don't know exactly how many planes they have or how many naval units they have. And in terms of our ships, I'd like to go ahead and get them to be a bit closer, if I can somehow do that. Because they're currently far apart. Excuse me. Patrol formation spread very wide. I don't want them to be very wide. I want them to be searching and destroying. Yeah. Okay, so stay tuned for episode 3, guys. I hope you enjoyed episode 2, where we have completely annexed Bulgaria. In the next episode, we are going to declare war on Istanbul, rather on Turkey, I should say, and hopefully take back the historic Greek province of Constantinople, of course, the previous Byzantine/Eastern Roman Empire's capital. And we might even push our way into Turkey proper, taking some very key regions, maybe even Ankara itself, which will no doubt give us more access to military and civilian factories in the process. Thank you guys so much for watching episode 2. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys on episode 3. Take care.